Acts chapter 17. In Thessalonica, however you want to pronounce it, when they had passed through Amphipolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where there was a Jewish synagogue. As his custom was, Paul went into the synagogue, and on 3 Sabbath days he reasoned with them from the Scriptures, explaining and proving that the Christ had to suffer and rise from the dead. This Jesus I am proclaiming to you is the Christ. He said, some of the Jews were persuaded and joined Paul and Silas, as did a large number of God-fearing Greeks, and not a few prominent women. But the Jews were jealous, so they rounded up some bad characters from the marketplace, formed a mob, and started a riot in the city. They rushed to Jason's house in search of Paul and Silas in order to bring them out to the crowd. But when they did not find them, they dragged Jason and some other brothers before the city officials, shouting, these men who have caused trouble all over the world have now come here, and Jason has welcomed them into his house. They are all defying Caesar's decree, saying that there is another king, one called Jesus. When they heard this, the crowd and the city officials were thrown into turmoil. Then they made Jason and the others post bond and let them go. So here we go. Listen to this. But the Jews were jealous, so they rounded up some bad characters from the marketplace, formed a mob, and started a riot in the city. They rushed to Jason's house in search of Paul and Silas in order to bring them out to the crowd. And then it goes on to say, when they heard this, the crowd and the city officials were thrown into turmoil. Then they made Jason and the others post bond and let them go. So remember, these are the people that are supposed to be following the law, but yet bearing false witness. Bringing past to present. So, again, we talk about this. So we're going to talk about it in 2 different aspects. We're going to talk about it in our relationship with the Lord, when people tend to not seek the Lord and try to utilize their own thoughts and feelings. Thus is the reason why there's a lot of issues when it comes to places of worship even to this day. Have you seen it where people no longer go because they feel that others are hypocritical, and or their reasoning is more ideologic than guided by the Holy Spirit? Another way to look at it, as in ourselves, when we are making decisions and they turn out bad, did you originally seek God for that, or did you just quickly make the decision? Or did you do research, earthly research, and make your decision based off of that? Granted, absolutely, the Lord has provided us brain, the Lord has provided us with the way of learning. However, are we seeking the Lord? Are we guided by faith in the Lord's guidance, or are we guided only sometimes when we feel like it? Cherry picking. Sound familiar? Both of those points relate. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?